Welcome back to the LCS Challengers League. I'm Mazel, joined by Beatdown, and we're rejoined by Evil Geniuses Challengers, Soul, the top laner, and we had a beatdown of a game number 1 here by Cloud9 into Golden Guardians.
Yeah.
Beatdown Boulevard, give me a little bit of a synopsis.
Lord, they gave it to him, Mazel. I'm going to keep it 100. And I think the biggest, I'm only going to really talk about one thing that I think hurt, or that hurt Golden Guardians early game. It was not punishing MNS's flash being blown early. If you commit a little more, he will flash and die. But getting the flash alone is so impactful because it can set you up for a Herald. And as a team that wants to kind of keep the game slow and scale, having a more guaranteed Herald secure is crucial. And I'm kind of sad that Golden Guardians never really went for it.
Yeah.
Maybe next game.
And I would love to get your point of view, Soul, from watching that game behind the scenes. I know you were clip collecting, but I just want your general thoughts on kind of that takeaway, and especially, you know, the top lane from Fake God.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Fake God with the Garen pick, you know, he got the scale, he got his highlight moments. He was definitely smurfing a couple fights, but you know, I think the early game was actually going quite well for Golden Guardians given the circumstances. They got the flash blown off of MNS, and their bot lane got a really strong 2v2 kill, and also Concept was up CS pretty consistently throughout the lane. But as the game progressed, it seemed like one bad play threw Golden Guardians off, and it just got bad to worse, you know, consistently. So unfortunately, they weren't able to bring it back.
Amazing breakdown, Soul. Thank you so much. By the way, if you're not following this guy, please go follow him. Chilling it out just because we have a competition going and we got to get this guy some followers. All right, let's go ahead and have a little bit of fun so we can hear some big brain analysis from the man that you're going to follow on Twitter. So we have a little bit of clips, at least, that you have collected for us, and we're going to go through and really want to hear your breakdown as to why you went with these clips and kind of the approach from both players from that player perspective. So we'll go ahead and bring up the first clip now, and it looks like it's that early game shenaniganeries towards bot side.
Yeah, so here Roadstone already saw Tomio in his jungle, but I think he's like a little overzealous here, and I think he doesn't think that Tomio has stuck around or something, and I'm sure he knows that Wukong definitely wins the 1v1 there. Definitely a short-sighted mistake on his part. And then, like you guys covered, it gives C9 the confidence to go in bot lane as soon as, you know, the enemy jungler is dead. I think really good punish by Array and Prismal down here, getting the 2-for-1. You know, in the beginning, it seemed like a little dicey and it seemed a little rough with their jungler going down, but they somehow managed to turn this around, which is really good for them. And it ends up turning like a suboptimal play to something that, you know, that's quite salvageable.
And the fact that Bristol flies for it, make sure you get that double kill.
Yeah.
He knew. Especially, I guess, going to this last clip, looking at kind of the perspective now that we're getting Concept and Fake got a lot more invested in these fights.
Yeah, so here, like, Prismal pushes the wave out for Young, and I think there's, like, a little bit of a miscommunication here, because Young ends up getting priority from Prismal's move here, but you see the Young starts channeling his base because he's not confident in his ability to fight here, even though he's first. And a full-on fight breaks out, and at this point, you know, Blue Side's team with Garen and Wukong is a lot stronger than an Ornn with a Vi. So I think there's definitely some sort of miscommunication here with Golden Guardians, because Prismal's spending that time to push the mid wave with Young, and the Young ended up not moving and losing the 3v3. That's gotta hurt for Golden Guardians.
And especially when you're looking at the approach for Golden Guardians, they obviously had a lot of the late game scaling that was in their back pocket, but they never got there. And then you had moments like this where you're just getting capitalized on. So as a player, how are you kind of keeping cool heads after a game like that, and especially when you went for this concept that didn't work out for you?
I think there's a lot of good takeaways for Golden Guardians. Like I said, like the early game was good, and they had like a lot of advantages. I think at the end of the day, it just came down to kind of a lack of communication, as you saw in like the Rift Herald play. And I think if they, you know, usually as a team, when something, or to bounce back from like a rough loss like this, you just gotta tell your team, hey guys, early game went well, let's just focus up, we can beat them. You know, like they showed that the first 5 minutes was relatively good. They just got to keep up the momentum.
Yeah, beatdown, especially that again, that mindset of kind of regroup, refocus for Golden Guardians. Do you see them bringing a lot of the same approach in terms of draft, kind of that same concept?
I think the draft concept is fine. It is execution, and it's something we highlighted going into this series as well. So I'm pretty confident that they can run back something very similar. Just change how you approach certain parts of the early game, because Soul already said it. They had a small lead going through here. They had opportunities where they could come out ahead outside of this early mid game, but one misplay leads to another, and it's just this downward spiral that was very unfortunate for Golden Guardians. But I could see the run back.
Now we got to get the real. We got Mad Magical, by the way. Just to remind people, Moose Hater, 2023 Garen player, but last year it was Concept that played Garen, taught him the Gale Force build. What a wonderful Mad Magical concept there.
Concept, what have you unleashed in the world by teaching him that?
But I do want to go to that top lane discussion a little bit more so, especially because we saw the Garen come out, obviously, from Fake God. The response, or I guess the attempt was the Ornn. But these are kind of the differentiations that I want to see, and maybe Concept still going for those tanks. But do you feel confident just going back to tanks when Fake God just took a Garen into you and was a big piece to the reason why Cloud9 won, Soul?
Yeah, I think there's definitely some sort of element of like disrespect for that. I mean, Garen is obviously like an insane pick there, and Fake God was piloting it really well. Definitely in some moments, the spirit of Moose Hater like took on him, and he just like smurfed some fights. But I think most top laners would have went for the Camille or any of the other tank killers that weren't banned there. But Fake God with the confidence to whip out the Garen, especially against Concept, who's also another known Garen player, it's definitely really, really impressive.
Yeah, so do you foresee Concept being and speaking up in draft at all, being like, yo, guys, like, I may be a tank player, but come on, I can't be done disrespectful like this.
I do think it's overdue for Concept to whip out his Garen, because I think last split he picked a lot of his off meta picks like Cinch and Urgot, but the Garen was kind of nowhere to be seen, and now there's definitely a spotlight on the Garen. It's being picked in multiple other regions. I think it's about time. Concept's got to speak up and say, hey, I got to show these guys how a real Garen is played.
Okay. Really quick to something I wanted to know from you, Soul, is that we've seen Garen pop up so much, like you said, in this league, other leagues. What's the answer in that situation? What's something, especially that's good in this current meta, that you think can play into it?
I think one of the most traditional counters is Camille. You saw it banned away in the wildcard CLG Faith game, but I would say that's probably one of the best matchups that people can take into the Garen. And we are facing a Moose Hater next week, so I'm sure he knows that as well. Or tomorrow.
He's like watching the broadcast, like writing it down.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Camille is the potential answer here. I don't know. I mean, maybe we'll get the Garen again for Fake God. Maybe Golden Guardians just ban it away. But I guess that's where I want to go into a little bit more and focus on what we could see in this draft coming up. And especially from your point of view, Soul. I know we're talking a little bit about the change-ups in top lane, but we also saw a lot of aggression and a lot of cohesion with the team from the junglers. And Tomio playing extremely aggressive on the Wukong. Are you expecting a lot of the same kind of forward-facing junglers here to kind of set up the teams?
Yeah, I think right now the meta for jungles is definitely a lot of these facilitators for the rest of the team. Tomio played it really well. He Wukong generally wants to fight around like level 6, so he got to the level 6, and then by the Herald fight, C9 has a Wukong and GG has a Vi. It's kind of a little one-sided. So yeah, I think it's the jungle is probably just going to be between these two if the other three champions like Maokai, Sejuani, Elise aren't banned. Okay. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what else pops up in this next draft.
Do you have any words of encouragement or a little mini speech for Concept?
I mean, come on, Concept, you can't let him disrespect you like that. You gotta pick up the Garen sometime. Come on. Yeah.
Let's go. Thank you so much, Soul. We will catch up with you after this series is over. We are moving into draft now. Golden Guardians on the blue side. We have Cloud9 on the red. Now, again, change up of sides. Maybe that means change up in draft. We'll see if Concept wants to take that aggressive top laner into Fake God this time around. But the big focal points are we just going to get the handshake bot lanes again? And what kind of facilitating jungles are we going to get for both these sides? We get the Akali ban by Golden Guardians. We get the Ashe ban by Cloud9 Challengers, actually.
I mean, the Akali ban makes me sad. I was saying to Soul while you were getting water in between games that, maybe M&S will pull out the style pick, the Akali, but we're not going to see it anymore. I'm sad now. However, this game 2, The side switch is interesting because the thing I'm most interested in are the junglers that Soul was highlighting. Maokai, Sejuani, Elise, things like that. Things that were all taken away first rotation in game 1. A lot of them, unless C9 banned 2 of the 3 right now, are going to be up and available. And I suspect that's what Golden Guardians are going to be first picking. It's either that or they want the Lucian Nami for themselves. But I think that's the best case for them here, where you want to switch things up, get Rosethorn on a jungler. He's been having a lot of success in.
Yeah, and we're seeing again some of the similar bans from last game, where the Cassante is now off the board, the Renekton, both the most played for respective sides here as well. So still looking at that solo lane focus here, we're not getting those bans away from bot lane. I think both teams realizing there's no real point in banning bot lane. There will just be other stuff they can go. There's a little bit of that control ability, I guess, with having the Lucian Zeri in bot lane as well. The Maokai, the Sejuani, the primary facilitating junglers in the meta right now, banned away. But there is a pick that did not make it through in game number 1, and Elise grabbed for Rosethorn.
Right, and I think of the 3, makes a lot of sense that this one was left up, and now Rosethorn will have that early game power. We've been seeing this champ pop up a bunch, and that's going to open up Cloud9 to, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Because you already know what's going to be that second lock-in here. And unless Array plays Draven and they pull an IMT and go Nami Draven, I'm pretty confident that we're just going to see they're just going to take the Nami right away. Yeah, respect.
Might as well. Just,
not leaving it up to chance.
Leave them guessing for another round.
Yeah.
At least. Leave them guessing. I do want to see kind of what Golden Guardians go with here, though, because I think getting that proactivity bot lane.
I was kidding.
Literally, let's go.
What?
Array and Principal.
Okay.
Man, Golden Guardians, they lost that first game. They said, we ain't going out like no puny babies. We are going to take it to Cloud9, and they have drafted so far one of the most aggressive comps they can.
Wow, already lots of bot focus very clearly off of these picks. The Draven pick is super exciting, paired with the Nautilus. Not as tanky as the other full-on engaged supports, but we know that Dredgeline hitbox is just so large and beautiful if you're the Nautilus playing it. So I'm already seeing lots of 2v2 skirmishing coming through, and I'm envisioning a lot of jungle attention.
We are seeing Tomio grab that Vi, though, so at least you still have that kind of forward momentum for Cloud9. A lot of the setup potential there for Lost and Zeyzal on this duo of the Lucian Nami. The Scion banned away against Concept, taking away some of those tank choices as well. Tried and true for Concept. We'll see what Golden Guardians want to focus on, as you still got these soul lanes to deal with. Menace definitely deserving of some big bans. I still see Kassadin on the table.
I was just
probably
thinking
need to take that one away. But you're also looking at Fake God. Maybe you have to ban the Garen out.
So there's 2 choices here, I think, for Cloud9. It's either you ban away another tank to make Concept more uncomfortable, take the Ornn out of the picture, which could actually, I think, hurt Golden Guardians team fight overall, or you take away the Kassadin. Either way, Golden Guardians get something that they'll be pretty happy with. Kassadin being something Young has found a lot of success on. Golden Guardians play for it really well, and it's open. So you got to imagine that's the lock-in.
So the Cloud9 Challengers last ban is the Ornn. Definitely focusing, trying to push Concept maybe to those more aggressive style picks in the top side of the map. But definitely looking at this last ban with a lot of curiosity to see if they do ban away the Kassadin, or if C9 just pick it up. So it is the Jax ban. So both teams not going for the Garen just yet, but it is now looking at what we get for Cloud9 as the first pick. They still have counter pick for them, so obviously this will be just one pick going through, and would expect maybe that top lane to get the counter pick, as we saw last time around. The Garen was picked up on blue side for him. A lot of hovers coming on here, but we'll see what they end up going with. Should just be this Jace locked in. So still some flexibility there with the pick, but more than likely fake.
This would be the most goated Malphite game, Command Attack, if you're out there. I'm certain you agree with me.
What makes you say that?
I don't know. Just perhaps all the AD on Cloud9 Challengers side, perhaps. Just something about it screams Malphite. It's a tank. We know Concept to be a tank player. Come on, buddy. Just do it.
Rocks can't scream.
No. Oh, wait. That's a Young pick. That's gotta
That
be.
is 100% a Young pick.
We know it's Young's Irelia.
Do they think maybe that this is M&S's Jace then? Is that the choice here?
So that makes a lot of sense because we've been seeing a lot of Jace mid pop out, and this is that option where, I mean, it's a Young specialty. It lanes well into Jace if you're proficient on the champion. And we know, okay, Concept! He says, give me that justice.
Give me that. That's mine.
Oh
Don't take that away from me, Fake God. Moose Hater is going to be in shambles, man. Moose Hater's in shambles right now. This is going to be a fun one. We also, though, sneaking on through, it's not the Kassadin, but it's something maybe just as terrifying. M&S's LeBlanc makes its re-debut here, and this is going to be a slaughterfest beatdown.
Zell, M&S, I don't remember who they were playing last time, but there was a level 1 play that he made.
There's a lot of solo kills that I had to watch that M&S was on the LeBlanc, all right? That's all I'm going to put out there. It was traumatic.
That game was crazy. And M&S has this ability. I mean, he's that player we keep highlighting as very standout performer, best mid right now. I'm going to just go ahead and say it. And especially on these assassin type picks. So when you're dealing with an immobile carry like the Draven, it isn't about the front to back anymore for Cloud9. You have range, you have poke, you do have all-in potential, but you also have that LeBlanc who's just kind of like this.
Hey.
Just like over a wall, be like, hey, you're what you doing there by yourself, Array? That's not okay.
All right, we are on to the Rift here for the second game of the day. Cloud9 Challengers coming off a very dominant first game of the day. It is now Golden Guardians that have all eyes on them. Aggressive composition, almost all AD in terms of their damage profile, but they will not let that hold them back. Rosethorn, the early aggressor, Concept, Young, solo lane dominance needs to come through. As we need to get all those spams in chat. Who you think is going to win? Golden Guardians Challenger GGC or C9 Challengers C9C?
So the interesting thing too about M&S being the solo Magic Dynamic champion is that we're likely not going to see very much MR built up. And I'm sure M&S is just giddy at the thought of that. Meaning that if M&S manages to get rolling in this early game, in that lane phase, he's going to run the map. And also, speaking of run, Concept doesn't have flash.
Confidence, baby.
Confidence.
Yo, I'm telling you, Soul was right. Kill. There was a little bit of disrespect in that matchup last time. You can't do that in the Concept. He's going to take the Ghost Ignite into you and try to just put you down in lane. We will see Rosethorn spotted out. Thank you to the observers here to show this pathing. Opposite side starts yet again for both junglers, even though we've gotten that switch of sides. So again, I think a lot of this is going to be on where can Tomio kind of deflect the presence of Rosethorn.
Oh, already.
A little bit of trade in bot lane. Zazel is going to remember that Draven level 1 does do a lot of damage. Waiting on that level 2 for Cloud9 for sure. I'd love to see early trading going the way of Golden Guardians here. Still that 56% win rate for
believers.
The spam in the chat. We got a lot of believers in here.
That's right. Oh, Concept.
A little bit of trouble. Level 2 for Fake God. Oh no. Concept taking a bad early trade. We'll have to be careful.
Well, it is Garen, so with that passive, nice thing is he'll be able to heal up. But so far, early lane going for Fake God and M&S. Remember, M&S took Ignite. He is also out for blood in this laning phase, and this LeBlanc snowballing is going to be a huge problem. Oh my God! Somebody got the reference. Let's go.
Let's go. That
I don't know who you are, Hoagie, but you're my GOAT.
The GOAT has been achieved. Oh, Young finds M&S. A solo kill to the Young mid laner. Young for Golden Guardians. We got bot lane coming through, though. Golden Guardians might find another one. Prismal in some trouble. Needs to get out of that. They are in between towers here. As a bot lane dive gone a little bit awry, they do get the flash out of Lost.
You're denying gold and XP here, which is why this still works out for the side of, oh my God, for the side of Golden Guardians. This pressure is unreal.
They really want to get these stacks in for a rave, though it's still really early on. Fake God. Oh, Rosethorn flashes, but still dies. That's 3 flashes down for Golden Guardians, and a kill traded back to Cloud9.
Fake God, very happy committing the teleport, being able to make that happen here. We got excitement all across the board. Hopefully you get a replay.
I said a Slaughterfest, and they deliver? Are you not entertained?
Is this not why you are here?
Oh, a little bit cheeky. Oh, Zazel saw the Hex Flash, man. That's so cheeky. No. We'll see them move into Alcove. Alcove gameplay 101 by Golden Guardians attending class here. Ooh, bubble, no. Prismal's down. Cloud9 logo comes up, and the C9 bot lane are back at it again.
This is what we keep seeing from Lost and Zazel. Despite that pressure being pushed in between turrets. Oh, right on time, observers. Thank you. This is insane. The fact that we see in this moment the mid kill is happening.
It's such a big wave.
Yeah, so much is being lost. So much time is spent while Array and Prismal, I mean, the wave's right next to them. Of course, they're going to be able to pick up golden XP, and the pressure is on. You get summoner spells, no kills, but the wasting of time here is fine. And I need you to look at the minimap really quickly, see that Fake God has the wave pushed in, and that's where he finds the opportunity to go for that teleport. In fact, any second now, you're going to see him start to channel it. I assume he was waiting for the guarantee to come out of concept. Well. Yeah. And once that comes through, once Rosethorn goes in, he needed to be able to flash the wall. And it is a fail flash, but the problem is he needed to flash at that instant and hoped he would make it because he was going to get hit by the shock blast.
Yeah. And a little bit of error coming out from Golden Guardians does get capitalized on heavily by Cloud9. And again, back to the whole state of everything. We were saying here, both teams conceptually come into these games with a lot of the same approach. We have very strong bottom lanes. We have solo lanes that can have their own say in a lot of things, but led primarily through jungle. And the biggest difference was the level of execution we've seen from Cloud9. Yes, their records are not that far off, but there's been a definite difference between the execution level of Cloud9's macro and especially the way they play the map.
And there's something to be said about strength of schedule, which is why we keep talking about how this is a test for Golden Guardians. Even though we've seen some good looks in that game 1, some good looks definitely in this game 2, they are going to need more to be able to get that win, split the series, and avoid going 0-2 on day 2 here. As you see Rosethorn, again, a lot of pressure on this bottom side of the map, this bot matchup being what it is. And this time around, the roles are reversed a little bit. Golden Guardians, they have scaling, they have late game fighting, but they also want the Dragon Soul, Mazel.
They're going to start this early stacking here, using that priority in mid and bot. Let's be able to get this. Tomio will finally see what's going down. Navast, there's a dragon being taken. Oh my god, there's still 2,000 health here, and everybody from Golden Guardians has left Rosethorn. Oh no. He's still staying in though, as Young recollapsing gets in some trouble. Dragon should go down to Golden Guardians. It's resetting though, so the smite. Oh my god, just kill it. As Young has bought a lot of time. Heal coming out from Zazel to get some movement speed here. M&S needs to be careful, but Zazel more so. Young, there's the Vanguard's edge as huge stuff onto Zazel. M&S going back, leaving Zazel out to be fried into sushi, and a shutdown actually going over to Young. Big gold influx for the mid laner of Golden Guardians.
That's what they need to be happening here, Mazel. Gold. And more importantly, gold in the right places. Young with that confidence, that experience in the LCS.
Prismal not getting getting a double kill early isn't where you want the gold?
He's a support. It's not the same. You're an AD carry. You know how important that is, Mazel. You can't fool me. And Young, that player, experience in the LCS, talks about in the interview how much confidence it gave him. And to that point where now it's just about getting back to the LCS. Now he feels more comfortable with his spot here in NACL and his ability to perform when it matters. We're already seeing glimpses of that this game with not one, but both of Golden Guardians' kills.
Really good turn up, especially from the pieces that we saw be positive last game, kind of turning into gold here in second game. Now it is another objective secured by Golden Guardians, not contested as heavily this time. An engage attempted in mid lane from Prismal should get locked down by this root on the way out, but a Rift Herald secured for Golden Guardians means gold left on the board here and potential focus where they're going to put this gold. I would expect mid or bot to be the recipient of the Rift Herald early on.
Well, I would adore a bot lane play, Mazel. Let me tell you, a successful dive, especially if Prismal gets level 6 and you prevent M&S from being able to join the party, it's going to be so important. Oh, Prismal, you want to talk about that one?
You win some, you lose some.
Yeah,
Young going to flash away. That time Prismal connects, and Young immediately capitalizes. Young sticks alive, and there you go. He is off with a 3-0 start in game 2.
Just aren't really a thing. Vamp Scepter means you're full build, everybody, even through the Ignite. Young was able to live and make it happen, keep on whipping out the Blade Surges. And it is just more and more in favor of Golden Guardians. And this mid lane advantage just sets up what we were hoping for on this bottom side of the map. Lost and Zazel, roam mid. Look what's going on down here. That's turret plates for your boy Array, and even more probably a turret as this Rift Herald has been dropped. A tremendous early game lead here for Golden Guardians.
Love to see that gold going. Oh no, Rosethorn. We're extending a little bit. There is a collapse coming from Cloud9. Vault Breaker will not connect. They don't have any more tools to follow it up. So almost caught with their hand in the cookie jar was the Golden Guardians, but not going to do so. Now they're fading out a play in the alcove.
Oh, this would be so big. Array, worth noting, needs to cash in.
Oh,
and
no.
if they get hooked.
Dun, 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 dun. You have a kill! Oh my god, it's a spider! Oh no, they better get a kill here at the end.
Array,
cashing in those adorations. Give them all the stacks.
It costs several flashes, it costs so many summoner spells, but it's worth it. Look at that. 600 gold lead just shoots up to 1,400 for Array on the Draven, and it's going to go even further as that's a turret plate. That's first turret of the game, and it's all solo for the young 80 carry of Golden Guardians.
2,000 gold up in the bot lane, 1,200 gold up in the mid lane. These are the carries set up for success in game 2 for Golden Guardians, and you love to see that bounce back. We were talking so much about Lost and Zazel, the control they found in the bottom lane. Well, Array picks that Draven, and they are popping off.
We wanted to talk about Array breaking away from meta and during the draft in game 1. How's Draven sound for you here, Mazel? He's doing a great job so far at 1-0. And I actually like the Bloodthirster rush here because you got a lot of all-in to worry about. That shield's going to help you a lot, especially against somebody like M&S, if we're being honest here. And that BF sword is also interesting because remember, 80 carry item changes means we could see that second item IE for Array, and Lord, that's going to be a beautiful sight.
And we're seeing actually now this setup for the map, because they unlocked that bottom lane tower, actually plays so heavily in the Golden Guardians advantage the way they want to play the map. Concept needs to be careful in the side lane though. He's just taken out here. There's no way he's getting out of that one. Tomio with a response, and Concept, it's a very, very big overstep.
Zell, we're seeing a role reversal of what happened last game. Game 1, Cloud9 dominate bot hard, and it means that Golden Guardians were forced to make plays topside, see what they can get off of that. But this time it's Golden Guardians who are in control bottom side. These trades are worth for them. They get to continue stacking Drakes. The only downside is that it's not an Ornn picking up a gold and turret plates. It is a Jace, so that range, that poke is going to be a bit of an issue. But overall, Golden Guardians, they get all they want in this early game, and a Mountain Soul would just be the cherry on top.
I will say, Fake God racking up the plate gold up there on the top side, though.
Yeah.
Definitely feels good
spooky
for, at least for Cloud9, as something going their way. But it's been Golden Guardians capitalizing on, especially the presence of Young from mid lane, but again, Array and Prismal, the engaged-centric bot lane working out. And back to the point I was saying, this just enables the way that they want to play, sending Array in mid lane, having Prismal now in constant roam connecting with Rosethorn, and Young and Concept are perfectly fine pushing in side lanes.
For sure. This Irelia, we joke about full build at the Vamp Scepter, which is a big spike in lane, but that Bork is the big deal here. And Young, being so proficient on this champion, is in a very comfortable position side laning here. And I like the call out, Mazel. Now, Array lead has been solidified. Now you're moving Young to the side lane, who's picked up, I'm pretty sure all those turret plates were picked up by Young. So now, if we could take a look at the gold lead, I would just love to know what the difference is between him and M&S, because M&S is the solo king guy. We talk about the stats that he's been able to pick up, and don't get me wrong, great player overall, but this game, it's the Young show.
Both of them are at 2,000 up now.
2,000 ahead. The carries of Golden Guardians are eating in game 2, Mazel.
It's working out beautifully for them so far. Let's see if they can maneuver around this next Rift Herald fight spawning in a little bit. As until then, that's the thing with this Golden Guardians composition, is they are very much downtime is just pick time. They have to find something in between, and I think that's where a lot of this give and take that Cloud9 are able to give back does present them some problems. We see Golden Guardians already positioning around this Rift Herald though.
Tomio, M&S, I like this, making a play from the brushes to see if they can punish Young for stepping up too far, but the opportunity was in hopes to get a trade for the Rift Herald. Unfortunately, they might get neither, but everyone is here. Look at this. So Tomio will actually get smoked.
Tomio might want to start backing now, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to be there. You're in the wrong neighborhood, homie.
See him actually make it out of there alive as another tower falls to Golden Guardians. This will be another side lane tower, and they're going to keep pushing. They have this Rift Herald. Fake God responding with his own tower in the side lane, but this could be a tier 2. Engage missing onto M&S. So that depth charge does go through, but this is that tier 2 tower with that extra gold going over, and more gold influx. 5,000 gold in advantage are Golden Guardians.
And we will see the turret trade in the picture-in-picture on the other side of the map, which is something. The Concept, you are behind. Concept is behind compared to Fake God, but I'm going to be real, it's not a big deal. As long as you're avoiding Jace poke, as long as people like Concept, who's still going to be tanky, Prismal, are soaking up the bulk of that damage, it's going to be difficult for Fake God to be able to use this lead in anywhere but the side lane. In team fights, Golden Guardians are going to smoke Cloud9 right now. And that's the biggest thing they have going for them here, because we're a minute 30 from Dragon. Zell, sole point, a big fight for Golden Guardians. And what do Cloud9 have to work with? M&S, no Mythic, lost at this point. Last game he was almost at 2 items. Now he's at 1 and a pickaxe. This is a position very much unlike what we saw in game 1. And Golden Guardians, the only thing they need to do now, I like this from Concept, let this go as your team secures that next dragon, secures control over this bottom side of the map.
And a usual PowerPoint is that first item spike for the Lucian Nami, right? And they do have that now. And I think that's something to take into consideration. But with this advantage and with who has the advantage, Lost is going to have such a difficult time getting into range to do damage. Both Array and Young and Concept and Rosa will all have the tools if he gets into range to do the damage he can do to take him out. And I think that's the most difficult approach now for Golden Guardians, is how do they get the damage down that's not coming down from just an accelerated shock blast of Fake God.
So how that happens is Array mispositioning. Right now, Array has both of the summoner spells. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I'm saying that's how it happens for Cloud9. Array has to make a big mistake. Give that opening for Tomio to start the all-in, because M&S needs help before he's going to be able to blow up Array. Remember, the Bloodthirster shield is there. That extra bit of sustain you have is going to be harder for M&S, especially because of how far behind he is at the moment here. But Cloud9, they have something to say about this dragon coming through. I just don't have, I have a feeling it's not going to be anything compelling.
We'll see what their argument is. Their argument falls flat, as they will look towards mid lane, try to take this outer tower at least. As that third dragon, the soul point goes over to Golden Guardians. They might actually try to collapse here as Cloud9 need to get out towards the blue side buff. Should be able to make it out, but it's an immediate collapse towards bot lane, towards mid lane for Golden Guardians. They are not letting up the pressure one bit.
And I like this from Prismal, holding the wave, giving that opportunity for Young Concept to move up here and keep this pressure in.
Prismal in a little bit of trouble. Tidal wave coming out. Not going to hit anybody there, Zazel. A little bit wide. Is Rosethorn taking? Oh,
the
repel
tech.
out Rosethorn. He's got 8 legs, and he just made Tomio break 2 of them.
Real quick, that was some fancy tech from Tomio. For those who don't know, if you flash at the end of your Vault Breaker behind someone, you can actually kind of hook them towards you. Tomio almost turned that into a kill. That was pretty cool.
M&S finding Young on the side. Prisval trying to go for the flash play, but underneath the tower, Golden Guardian's taking a lot of damage. 4 shot of the accelerated shock blast. M&S wants to make it happen. Fake God tries to get the engage. They find 1, they find 2, and a double kill for the bot lane. And Lost is now on fire.
Oh, this is bad. Golden Guardians, they're losing so much, and they want Young. He's going to have to all
shutdown. This is such a big shutdown, and it goes to M&S.
Oh, my God. Hey, you couldn't have picked a better recipient of all that extra gold. And so much of the early work in terms of gold and leads, Mazel, is almost over.
Gold lead.
Now,
it's down to 1.5.
Yes, so much was thrown away with that overcommitment. It's just a little too overzealous from Golden Guardians Challengers, and we're gonna see it right here. That overcommitment, like, you're ahead, but look at the health bars. Look at the all-in potential of Cloud9's comp. It was dangerous to overcommit here, and they were punished for it here. A big shock blast lands it. I can already hear the comms. It's like, oh, go, 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 go.
we go.
Yeah.
Really good capitalization from Cloud9, and again, that's where we have seen they will pounce on any misstep that Golden Guardians, even in this game, even we had seen such domination from Golden Guardians, but in those slight overstep moments, especially looking at top side early on, they have capitalized, and that's always kind of the sleeping viper here for Cloud9 Challengers.
Right. The thing against these better teams here in Challengers League is that those small mistakes get punished. And that's what we look for teams like Cloud9. And what you hope for Golden Guardians is avoiding mistakes like that. Understanding the kind of openings that you could be giving to your opponents. So the gold lead, you said it, Mazel, from 5K down to 1,500. It is still a lead. A race still spikes out of 2 items. The game is by no means is it over, evened out, or everything, but Cloud9 took so much back, and that's what I want to stress here. Golden Guardians will still be in control. It's just going to be about how they set up for this next dragon and whether or not they're going to be able to secure it, because the last thing for them to be able to really start to satisfy this win con is that Mountain Soul in 2 minutes, and that's why you see them putting vision somewhat on this top side, keeping waves pushed in so that they can start to focus their attention bottom side and that they don't get surprised by a Cloud9 Baron take.
I love that you bring it up, though, that focus on this next dragon. Golden Guardians fine playing around it a little bit less. Cloud9 cannot let them get it, as that Mountain Soul will do so much work for them in terms of like being confident setting up and around these objectives. They are moving through the mid lane, getting maybe a little bit of resets here, but M&S on the flank was ready to go. There's pings onto the Baron. They could just force a fight over Baron here, and that's the dividends that you've gotten yourself from stacking up 3 dragons in a row so early on.
Like this one, Bush play is coming through here. This is the big thing to look at. Watch M&S. He's strong enough to pop Array, take him out of the picture. Array needs to stay alive. He has no flash.
Ray able to work his way back around to this mid lane, as the ploy from Golden Guardians not going to be working out this time around. The back. Oh my God. It was so close to getting stopped. But Cloud9 cannot. The reset did come through. Cloud9 maybe looking just to clear out some of this vision, but it's Reset City as we're getting ready for Fight Night on a Sunday in 30 seconds.
And this is brutal. Golden Guardians very indecisive right now. They overstay their welcome topside, meaning we're 20 seconds from this dragon, but no vision has been set up in and around the dragon pit or in Cloud9's jungle. You're afraid of face checking this composition again because of the all-in that were highlighted, but now you're in a position where Golden Guardians might have to let go of this dragon, or at the very least walk it down through the river so that they don't get jumped on.
All right, we see Concept getting a little bit of the attention of Cloud9 as Golden Guardians move into the bottom side of the dragon pit. We're moving into Fight Night here, so who are the big boxers for you, Beatdown?
For Golden Guardians, Array, Young, big damage dealers. You have to watch for Cloud9 to target them.
They're getting in. Vanguard's Edge already there. Zazel down to Array. He's walking up front to back, and it's looking like the punches aren't going to stop. Golden Guardians pummel Cloud9.
And it's a knockout despite M&S's haymakers. They aren't able to hit the mark. And Golden Guardians, they did it, Mazel. That's the Mountain Soul. And with M&S being the only one in the vicinity, there's nothing to be done about it. And that's so brutal for a composition with a lot of burst damage. Those extra stats from the individual Drakes. The shield that is always on you now means this game just got a hell of a lot harder for Cloud9.
That IE spike, the 2 items coming up pretty much across the board. I love the steel caps too. So big. Yeah, that extra little bit. It is barren in the eyes of Golden Guardians, and no jungler here to contest. Should be the double objective secure for the challengers of Golden Guardians.
Wow, and we wanted a bounce back in game 2 from this roster. And this is exactly what that looks like. We're seeing the objective bounties, the petty prizes, starting to rear their heads up any moment now. And this is a great thing to see for Golden Guardians. We talked about it. 9-6, not the hardest of schedules, but a team we've been seeing improvements from. And when I talked to Array a few weeks back, he talked about how week 1 was very hard for them because, of course, they didn't perform like they wanted to. And they realized how much work they really needed to put in to improve. And it's great that we're steadily seeing these improvements, and it's starting to culminate here in a potential win against Cloud9, by the way. 12-3, one of the best teams.
We see their actual engage here as well. Tidal wave over top. Young has gone golden. The double bubble, and now you're in some trouble here. Cloud9, they capitalize again. And you might have Mountain Soul, but that shield ain't saving you today. M&S coming in here as well with the root. Not able to connect it as the Blast Cone does connect. A decent amount of damage done back by Golden Guardians. But now Prismal smited down and chased down. Yeah, Cloud9, they're coming for blood, and it's running gold.
And that's a big round coming through from Cloud9 to be able to get such good hits in. Golden Guardians, there's not much they're going to be able to take off of that, but they take Baron buffs off the map. And that's the thing you are happiest about. Getting this gold back into your pocket is also going to be very important because of the Elder Dragon coming up here. And this is what I said in the last game when Golden Guardians were the ones behind. You all in on the side lane to be able to get some control back in the game. And it was perfectly done here for Cloud9 Challengers. There was not a chance in hell the members of Golden Guardians were walking away from this.
It's yeah, it's really good capitalization from Cloud9, and I think that's that kind of heads-up play that we're seeing from them time and time again.
That's right. At this point, it's a formality. I heard Cubby say it, but Nautilus, even with Mountain Soul, is paper. It's really easy to be able to take him down.
We need a paper craft Nautilus. That's what we need.
Yo, that would actually go super hard. I hope somehow the design team heard that. Maybe we'll tweet it at them or something. But
hey,
Golden Guardians.
We'll see if it works. I don't know if Gold Guardians want that skin just now. Maybe it plays too much into it. We do see Concept in the side lane. A little bit of a difference here for Golden Guardians as they're trying to put on the pressure with the remaining Baron buffs that they have. Looks like they will be successful in taking out a tier 2 tower here unless this Lost Culling does enough. And MNS on the side. That Everfrost does connect, but it's not enough. Whirling Death comes through as Array taking the brunt of the damage, though. The double CC comes out, and Golden Guardians back on the siege.
The big thing I really want to highlight is that we talked about knowing the strengths of your comp, knowing the opportunities your enemies are going for. Golden Guardians, they're doing that to a T. You got to give props to Young and Rosethorn in particular. They're doing a really good job at playing interference for M&S. They're making sure this LeBlanc doesn't get the angle that they want.
Yeah. Oh, lost a little bit low. Okay, Tomio goes in now. He's tanky, though. Vanguard's Edge used under tower. The bubble connects. Tomio taken out by Concept, who just runs whiskily away. What a play for Golden Guardians. That was dicey, but they get out with the kill on Tomio.
And the Mountain Shields are back, Mazel. And it just makes it that much more difficult for these long extended trades. But Golden Guardians, again, they keep running interference. Array. It's so hard for them to be able to capitalize. And Prismal, they're not done.
They are not letting up, but they can't hit the connection. Oh, no, Concept. He's all by himself now. He's going to be burned down. Lost gets the kill. He's unstoppable battle now.
Oh,
as
the
M&S
exhaust.
goes golden. Grouped up are Golden Guardians. M&S is down, and Young is now running forward. They have the damage done, and you might have been awaiting Viper for Cloud9 Challengers, but it's a striking one for Golden Guardians. They want to take down the St. Tower, but lost.
They got him.
He's huge.
Artomio almost has his ult back up. This is absolutely a fight coming
It's
through.
so
Cease and
close.
desist any second.
Lost is like, keep going, Tomio, keep going. I'm riding all the way behind you. Rosethorn goes golden. Spider-Man will not save you today. And Lost gets another shutdown, another kill. Prismal
This is
throws
so bad.
up the
Prismal,
Teemo
you just gotta
face.
die.
And Golden Guardians have fallen into shambles.
This is literally the worst time for this to happen, Mazel. We're 45 seconds. Oh,
They're
my
waiting.
God.
They know.
They're desyncing the spawns. We have 40 seconds till the Elder and 40 seconds till Prismal
Can
gets
Concept
back
come stop
on
the backs?
map.
Concept.
That's the big thing.
No, you can't stop
Oh,
them.
no.
All right, well.
Maybe that's bad. That's really bad, Lennon. The fact is, Lost still has time to come back, spend the gold that he just earned,
Just
which was a
spent so
lot,
much
by the
gold.
way. And he also has a stopwatch. Even with this gold deficit, even with objective bounties, Cloud9 have a real chance here if they execute properly. And oh my God, a pick onto Young would help.
Looking for it, though. Young now has the GA completed. He has the Elixir of Iron as well in his inventory. So Golden Guardians know they're on the precipice and they need to take these fights. Prismal is not here. He is not around because of that delay. It's a 4v5.
They're going to burst it. They know this is Cloud9. They're going to force Golden Guardians to walk into them. It's a 50-50.
Rosethorn, you've never had a bigger miracle moment here. Can he steal it away? He does! He steals it! Golden Guardians with a flap of the Elder Dragon wings will delay and deny Cloud9!
That's what I'm talking about, Lennon. There was never a bigger chance for Rosethorn, and he makes it happen. From Academy to Amateur, back to the Challengers League. He makes the play. He secures game 2 for Golden Guardians.
Here comes a couple more flaps of the wings. Array flying forward. One more, two more. No more auto attacks. There's a side lane fight. Lost goes down. But what a triumphant comeback for the squad of Golden Guardians. Destroying themselves, it felt like, in game number 1, but coming back with a vengeance. You got Concepts Garrett, you got Rosethorn's Elise, Young's Aurelia, and the combo of Array and Prismal to finish it out here with the Draven Nautilus. It was a game plan set out from the beginning and executed on by the Golden Guardians Challenger squad. They got to finish this, though, as they got to take down the towers eventually. They might be taking a little bit too much damage here. Array needs to be a little bit careful. So one more tower falls, one more. Nexus is about to be bare, as Zazel doesn't have much to say. Beat
Lost is
down.
back. Okay, no, I think they're going to be able to auto this one. My God.
A couple more auto attacks.
What a
Concepts
game.
making sure. Concepts.
Yeah, they got it.
He just makes sure to end the game. And Golden Guardians even up the series and will move themselves to 10-6.
God damn, Lennon. There's so much to talk about. But all I care about is the Dragon Steel. Because what an incredible game finish here from Golden Guardians. Good early game. A couple misplays mid-game, a little shaky, but they managed to hold on to their lead.
Yeah.
And when you think a very critical misstep cost them the game, Rosethorn yanks it right back for them.
It felt like it was on the precipice of turning right around, and then Golden Guardians shut the door on Cloud9 Challengers. Evening up the series, we'll get to hear from Golden Guardians as well after a short little break. So let's go ahead and send it on to it, and we'll be back shortly.
Welcome back, everybody. We're here for our Verizon post-game interview with Array, the 80 carry for Golden Guardians. Array, first of all, congratulations. Climactic finish to an epic game 2. It looked really exciting. Did it feel intense for you at any point, especially after the loss in game 1, or were you just cool as a cucumber?
I mean, I wouldn't say I was really stressed out or anything. I think sometimes we were having some weird deaths, and it made the game a lot longer than it should have with the lead that we had. But
Fair.
I wasn't really worried ever that we would lose.
So I want to take it back to game 1 real quick. What we talked about it a lot on broadcast, what we thought was going on, but what in your eyes was what in your eyes caused you guys your difficulties in game one and then the loss?
I think we just fell really far behind after the Herald, and even before that, like, at least for bot lane, we didn't really play like the first wave very well, and I fell behind a little bit in EXP, but then after the Herald it was just like really hard because I think Wukong had Sunder after it, and like 2 minutes later Lucian Ami had both their mythics, so we like couldn't really fight anything for like almost the whole game, it felt like.
So it kind of just started off in that early game and it just snowballed into the loss?
Yeah, pretty much.
So what I'm curious about too is going into game two, like you said, you were in a snowball pretty much the entire time. What were the comms like between you guys going into that second game before draft actually started to come through? Like, how do you guys bounce back from a loss like that?
I mean, I don't think we were like that discouraged because we knew like our mistakes in the early game were kind of like just the reason we lost, and I think we were all pretty confident like if we just man up and like start taking more fights and not like letting them do whatever they want, that we would win. So nobody was really like that discouraged. Okay,
that's good. I mean, you kept calm, you kept confident, and it clearly showed in that second game. It was really exciting. So I have two more questions about the draft. One, the Draven is something I don't think I've seen you played yet. Is that like a pocket pick you've been cooking up so far this split?
Yeah, I didn't really used to play it, but this split I started playing it more, and it's pretty strong, honestly, against like the meta ball lanes, like Zeri and Lucian. So it's just like nice to be able to pull it out.
For sure. I don't think they were expecting that one at all, and I especially like the Bloodthirster rush coming through. It seemed to be very impactful. And now we talked about this one going into this one. What were the comms when Young solo killed MNS? Because like MNS is like the solo kill guy, and suddenly at level 3 you just see first blood.
I mean, we were like 3-3ing in between their towers bot, and so we were kind of like taking up most of the comms, and then I think Young just said I solo killed MNS, and then he died, and Tim or Roseborn was just like, nice job mid, like holy moly.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely an exciting one. We were definitely excited about it on the broadcast. And Young, Zyrelia, it got banned a lot in AM, so we're probably going to see that one start to come through once more. And now, I think you guys, like you said, a couple random deaths, a couple, shakeups in that game too. But there are two things I want to know from you. One, before the Elder fight, because you guys were still in a pretty good position, even though your timers were kind of off. What were the comms like as you were approaching Elder and they were rushing it? And then what were comms like after Rostone stole the Baron?
Well, we knew we would have to flip it because Prismal was dead. Like, he was like spawning as it spawned, so he's gonna be late. So I was trying to like ask Rosethorn like when he wants to smite, and I was gonna like try to ult it at the same time so he could maybe get it. But I mean, Tim just got it, and I was pretty hyped.
Yeah, or like was it just like yelling or like good job?
Yeah,
like what was it like?
Everybody was just yelling like go like kill them all, like we got it. Yeah.
I love that. It's an incredible buff. Even with your lead, it's just suddenly like game just becomes that easy for you to win it out. I love that. So the last question, or one of the last things I want to ask you before I wrap up, is I talked to you a couple weeks ago. You were telling me how week 1 was kind of tough for you guys. You guys have been really grinding, putting your nose down, and trying to improve as best you can. We've been seeing those improvements, but how do you feel about where you guys are at versus where you think you should be?
I mean, obviously, we definitely want to be a lot better. I don't think either of the games were that great from us. Like, even though we did go 1-1 against one of the better teams, I think we still have a lot to work on and to make it more clean. So we're just going to keep trying to do that.
Respectable. It can always be better. I love that mentality. And Array, before I let you go, are there any shout outs you want to give? Friends, teammates, family, random Twitch chatter number 7?
Yeah, shout out to my team. I think everybody's working hard to make sure that we have a chance at winning an ACL, and shout out to everybody that's supporting us, and yeah, thank you.
Hey man, thanks for doing this, Array. Wish you luck for the rest of your games. And that's going to be it for our Verizon post-game interview for our first series. So we're going to go through a short break while Mazel, Sol, and I set up series number 2.